Let's just kind of put this in context. Senator Menendez and Senator Kirk, along with everyone else in the body, but they've been the two leaders on sanctions against Iran. No one wants another conflict anywhere in the world militarily, but we also do not want a nuclear-capable Iran because we think it would create an arms race in the Mideast and would put Israel and our own nation at great peril if the regime, the Ayatollahs, were able to get a nuclear capability. So that is really emptying Pandora's box. So the sanctions are tough. If we can make them tougher, we will. I know Bob and Mark have worked really hard with universal support by the Congress. Months ago, we passed a resolution containing a nuclear-capable Iran off the table. That was important for the Congress because when the President said our policy as a nation will not be to allow a nuclear-capable Iran to exist, then contain them, we will prevent them from getting a nuclear capability. It was music to our ears, and it was 90-1 vote. So when the President spoke to the world about non-containment, we spoke in unison with the President. And March 20th, I think he goes to Israel.
Yep.
We've had an election. We've got plenty of differences, but I want to help my president where I can. And I want to be as bipartisan as I can on things that really will affect the world, not just the United States. And this is a good issue to be bipartisan on. So the President said at APEC last year to Israel, we have your back. Now that was a statement not to belittle the Palestinians. I would love nothing more than an independent Palestinian state living side by side at peace with Israel. I think the Palestinian people deserve their own state, living in dignity, but it has to be done in a way to ensure the survivability of the state of Israel. This is not about being against anybody. It's about being for a concept that is near and dear to my heart, and I think to my colleagues, that we have no better friend in that part of the world, anywhere in the world, than Israel. And the people who want to destroy Israel very much have us in their crosshairs too. So our fates are tied together here. So when the President said to the people of Israel, we have your back, in American vernacular, that means if you get in trouble, we're going to come to your aid. Mr. President, as you leave to go to Israel, this is an effort by Republicans and Democrats to tell you that we have your back when you tell the people of Israel that America has theirs. And this resolution is not a declaration or authorization to use force. It is a statement that in the event that Israel acts in self-defense, this is not a green light to Israel to do anything other than defend herself. If the Israeli people believe they have to act in self-defense against the existential threat of a nuclear-capable Iran, we will be there. Every senator who votes for this resolution is telling the world, the Iranians, the Israelis, people at home, that in the event that day comes, we're going to be with the state of Israel politically, economically, and militarily to help them defend themselves against a threat that presents great danger not only to the state of Israel, but the world, and particularly the United States. So I hope we can bring this resolution to the floor soon. I hope we can pass it around the President's trip to make sure that the world knows when it comes to the concept of standing with Israel in a time of great peril, when we say we have your back, we mean it, and to let the President know that when you say that, Mr. President, you say it with our blessing.